Salutation! This is Christian of Firefly Nerd. Thank you for joining. And today I wanted to give you the second video in my Crazy 8 series. What this is like the Mario Kart 8 power. It gives you 8 different items. I'm just talking briefly about 8 of my favorite things involving a subject. Today I'm going to be doing my Crazy 8 on Overwatch. So I'll be covering things like field, character, taunt, spray, stuff like that. For this one, I am going to be technically talking about more than 8 different things, but I felt like the voice line, sprays, and taunts were kind of in a similar category, and I originally thought of doing it like my favorite taunt voice line combo, but I ultimately just decided that I'd list my favorite of each one of those for this video. And so, real fast before I get into the real subject matter, I also wanted to specify that I will be counting down from number 8 to number 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It doesn't mean that the first thing I talk about I like less than the other thing. I could like the field as much as the character. It's just that I number it just for the countdown, just to make it simple on me. But moving into this, number 8, my favorite field in Overwatch. It actually is Hanamura, especially if I am on attack. Now, I actually do prefer attack overall, no matter what. I like trying to get the payload there, take over the objectives and stuff like that. Defending can be fun, but it feels less of maybe it just feels like less of an active role. But I like Hanamura, especially if I am on attack, because of the arcade. Particularly, it gives more to do with being able to destroy the vending machines and arcades, the arcade game machines. But also, it's a great aesthetic. So is the whole field, and it's also quite versatile. You have a bunch of ways to get around, to try to end flank the enemy. So that's why I like Hanamura the best. Great aesthetics and great play too. A lot of places to try to hide, snipe, try to get around the enemy and flank them. And it's also one of my favorite types of fields because it's one of the take the base ones. Number 7 is my favorite skin in Overwatch. And my 2 favorite are actually taken by May. My second favorite is her PJs. It's just really cute on her, honestly. That's the whole reason why I like him. But my favorite is her earthen skin. I love it just because it makes me feel like an earthbender, and like May could be an earthbender. She still is full on chill power. But it just has the aesthetic of Earthbender from Avatar: The Last Airbender. So it just makes me happy to see May in that. My number 6, my favorite play mode. Now, of course, I do like the modes where you try to take the base. But my favorite play mode is actually Capture the Flag. I feel like it's a very fair way, fair play, a fair way to score points, and having to make it back to your base gives you both a chance to react, as well as prevents scoring by luck. And oftentimes in the other modes, it just feels like there's either too much of a delay in your respawn that you aren't able to do something, or your opponents just happened to get great plays and stuff. And, you know, there's skill involved with that in addition to luck, but I just feel like it prevents luck and is a very fair way of play. And also for characters that take a little longer to set up, like Symmetra and Torbjorn, I feel like it gives them a more fair chance in this mode, and I don't main those too much. I do play them occasionally, so it's still nice for them to have that inclusion. Number 5, my favorite highlight intro. It's actually Diva's selfie. Diva is one of my favorite concepts for the characters. A gamer turned mech, a suit, a driver, to protect the country. I love that idea, especially since I'm a gamer. It's kind of empowering to the gamer community in a small way. But I just love it because it's so much personality. She hops out of a mech as it's exploding, well, preparing to explode, and she pulls out her camera for a selfie and is like, not such an exaggerated duck face, but uh, she just has a lot of personality in that. It's very brief, epic explosion in the background, and personality. Sorry, I can't mimic the face properly, but anyway, moving on to number 4, the Taunt Spray voice line trio. And again, I thought of doing this as my favorite Taunt voice line combo, which I may cover in a future episode of something on this channel, but my favorite taunt is actually May's Yay. She's just like, yay! It's just an honest expulsion of joy that's contagious, I'd say. The voice and the action do seem a little out of sync in a way, but overall, just that burst of real happiness is fun to watch. My favorite spray, I have trouble deciding between 2 of Bridget's. One of which is her mounted combat, which basically she's just a little kid on a white fluffy cat with a cardboard shield, and I don't remember what she's holding in another hand, but it's like her mace, just a little toy mace, and it just that childish, like playing. I love it. The other one I have trouble choosing with gives Bridget personality, current day personality. She's very red in the face, angry on a table, and like ready to arm wrestle. Like, that's an instant strong personality boost to her. So overall, I probably do like that one better, even though I love the picture of her as a child the other one paints. Because the expression of personality in her wrestle taunts or spray. And then my favorite voice line, one of Anna's actually, and I don't play Anna very much. I find the snipers a little more difficult. I've recently been getting better with Hanzo and Black Widow. But Anna's still quite a bit tricky for me, especially since even when I'm a healer, I'm usually Moria or Bridget, and not doing much healing. I'm not very good at the support, but I do often get the most eliminations. Right. But my favorite is, quote, "But for you, we're not keeping score." Most of my favorite voice lines are the ones where it's like rubbing salt in the wound, and I keep before a match. I'm like, okay, use taunt this time. When I eliminate someone, use a taunt. If I'm not working on eliminating someone else or in a hurry to get somewhere. So I've been meaning to get to using them more. Uh, and I love the idea of just rubbing salt in the wound. And that one is, in ways, one of the better uh, forms of doing that. So there's that trio. Moving on to number 3, my favorite special. And to be honest, I'm to be honest, it would be Maze, but even when I try to sync up my use of Maze special, which is an area freeze of opponents, I feel like I can never get my teammates to work with me on that. So my favorite is Hanzo's Twin Dragons. It's big, it's deadly, and it's not one, but 2 Spear Dragons ready to get you that quadruple kill or whatever to get that play of the game. And of course, honestly, I don't often get that quadruple kill, but it's it's a great and awesome special. Not don't really need to say much about it. It's just 2 Spirit Dragons eliminating opponents for you. Number 2 is favorite team setup I want to try. This one specifically for on attack with the on fields with payloads. It's Orisa, Reinhardt, Torbjorn, Symmetra, Bastion, and someone else. Someone like Soldier, Hanzo, Moya, or Lucio. The idea is basically at one end of it's all on top of the payload. So Torbjorn sets up his turrets, Symmetra sets up her turrets, Bastion hops up there, Orisa guards one end, Reinhardt guards the other. Torbjorn and Symmetra are kind of back a little ways to prevent flanking. And no, Symmetra's up with the payload to provide further support. Torbjorn's back there with either back there, and the 6th character is either Hanzo, who is also back there, or it's Moya to provide healing with offensive capabilities as well, or Lucio to provide the area healing for Orisa, Symmetra himself, Bastion, and Reinhardt. So that's, and I think it would be a well-defended way to get the payload there. It is susceptible to things like Junkrat and Diva special if they get in the shield. So it's of course very risky, but well defended enough that I think it would be worth getting good at. And finally, number 1, my favorite character. And honestly, it's between Moya, who is my current main, Bridget and May. Bridget and May mostly because they're cute and still really awesome characters. Overall, I choose May as my favorite character. Of course, not my favorite character to play, it's Moya, but I love being able to freeze opponents. I love her attitude, her background, going from a climatologist to a warrior is also pretty fun. And especially with with my 2 favorite skins being from her, and my favorite taunt. Overall, May is just an awesome character that I love. Anyway, that's my crazy 8 for Overwatch. Of course, that's my opinion. Go ahead and like the video, as well as leave in the comments what your crazy 8 for Overwatch would be. You don't have to use the same setup I did, so I'm excited to see your responses. But for now, this is Christian of Firefainted, signing off till next video.